Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents Surprise Thursday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the Modoking, the Batman 1/12 scale, the Dark Knight Trilogy Assembly Model Series Battlesuit Luxury Edition. Let's get into it! So let's begin with a look at the packaging, and as you can see, it's wrapped in this nice shiny protective film, shrink wrap, cellophane, whatever. So let's get it off out of the way, and here we have my handy dandy cutting tool, and we'll just open that up real quick and get this out of the way. So maybe it will help us take a look at the packaging a little better. So there's all that out of the way. Now, let's take a look at the top. And it's upside down, so let's flip that over real quick. So here we have all kinds of Japanese stuff I can't read. Warning! Don't stick things in your pie hole that do not belong there. In any language. And I can tell what that says. So, in any language. And then there's some small fine legalese stuff. There's a picture of the model. I'm sure it's got a little paint on it for these promo shots. And then it does come with the bat signal, and you can shine it. It's got a real light in it. So there's some QR codes, a barcode, some other symbols, DC and WB, and some other symbols and stuff right there. So now let's take a look at the front of the packaging, and it's got Modoking right there. Dark Knight Trilogy, the Batman, even though this is not the Batman. Anyway, you know what I mean. So it's a 1/12 scale, the Dark Knight Trilogy Assembly Model Series 1/12 scale, again in some Japanese stuff. Battlesuit Luxury Edition. And it's got some nice practical photography of the assembled pieces in here, and there's some DC and WB print and legalese stuff right there. On the bottom, it shows you all kinds of good stuff, and it comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sprues to cut stuff off of, and it comes with human head carving and styling display and hands and batarangs and weapons. So that's pretty cool. Also comes with a cape. So on this side, another product shot, some more of the same information. Spin it around to this side, another product shot, which is the same. It's a close-up from the front, and then that same information there. And then on the back, nothing. It's just a plain box. So there you have it, my friends. A look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the model kits and the accessories. Well, the accessories for the figure model kit, at least. And so we'll start with that. So one thing I was surprised about this figure is that it did have, or this model kit, I'm going to keep calling it a figure throughout, so please forgive me, is that one thing that surprised me about it was that it did come with a wired cape. But if you don't want that cape, it does come with 2 pieces you can pop. There's pieces on his shoulder, and if I remember when I'm going over it, I'll show you, that hold the cape in like this, that you can pop them out. The cape is attached to the other ones, and you can pop them out and pop these in and have the no cape look. And there's 2 of those. So there is that. He does have some of his batarangs And there's 3 of them. And they have a nice gold color to them. Bronze, maybe. And again, there's 3 of those. They're exactly alike. He comes with, he's Batman, so of course he has a set of fists. And they're nicely detailed. And molded all in black. And here's the other side. So there's that. Now he's got a pair of splayed out reaching hands, I guess, as well. And again, nice molded detail. I can hold on to something. Nice molded detail on it. Front and back, nice little wrinkles and stuff. So, it's cool. And again, there's 2 of those. One's a left, one's a right. They have ports in the back of them where you can swap them out. And I'll get to a little story about that in a moment. Of course, he has his grapple gun. And again, nice molded details on it. And all this color on these pieces, it's molded and, you know, put together. Like this top piece is put on, this bottom piece put on, the pistol grips on either side. You know, it's all assembly. So very nice looking, because of course it's a model kit. Duh. So here's his EMP gun from Dark Knight Returns. And again, nice molded details on it. Have a little trouble seeing those. There we go. So that's cool. And of course, you know, any of this, if you wanted to paint it, it's a model kit. So if you wanted to paint it up, you could. So here's the, I like to call it the splat bomb gun. But it has no, it doesn't pull in and out or anything like the one in the movie. But still, pretty cool looking, in my opinion. And here is the alternate head and neck. And he comes with an alternate neck because you can see it's got some flesh tone in here, which the other one does not. And this one actually does have, the face has some paint on it. And the sculpt is really, really nice. And I think between the paint and the sculpt, they did a really good job of getting Christian Bale's likeness for this. Of course, there's no wash or anything like that in the hair. You could, again, with it being a model kit, you could add that if you desire. But I think it looks pretty good on its own. And now I was actually surprised at how close the likeness was. And it also comes with this stand, the Dark Knight, the Batman. It looks like it may attach to something else. And these two are, I have seen them available. The Batman, at least, I've seen him available with different things. He's available with the Bat Pod. I haven't seen him available by itself. The Bat Signal has been available by itself before, but the way I got it was a 2-pack with Batman and the Bat Signal. So let's take a look at the Batman. And I will have to say, you know, it's not much to go on here, just a little bit of a faceplate there. But, you know, I think the likeness is pretty good. Now, the eyes, they do stand out a little bit. And, you know, they're kind of creepy looking, if I'm being 100% honest. So, throughout the armor stuff, you can see, just like in the movies, it's got some different colored bits up here on the torso. And that's on the side, on the arms. Not so much on the back. And got a little bit here on the knees. And it did come, that came on the mold. So it's like that. The belt, you know, of course, is a separate piece. It does have some paint apps on it too. Some black right here. Some silver on the sides here. And, you know, it does go all the way around where necessary. So that's pretty cool. You can see right here he's got a green wrist peg here. Swapping out the hands, I did break one of his pegs off, and I had a KO Piccolo SH Figure Arts KO that was hanging around that I'm probably not going to review because it's really, really, really bad. And so eventually I will paint this black, maybe. That's the intention. But until I can find something else to stand in for this wrist peg, that's gonna have to do it. So there is that. Now down here, just throughout the whole thing, it's highly, highly detailed, and I'm sure very screen accurate. And you can probably see some places on here where I didn't cut the sprues off as well as I might have done. But I'm not a big model kit guy. I love putting stuff together, but I hate painting and stuff. So that's why this kit appealed to me, because there's no painting that, you know, if you don't want to. And because I'm not good at it. I haven't had a lot of experience. When I was growing up, I didn't have anybody that lived around me that did model kits, really. So there was nobody to teach about painting and whatnot. So, and of course back then there was no internet, no YouTube. So the pieces I was talking about earlier, you can maybe see the lines right in here, just right where the cape is. So you can pull those out and replace them, and he can have that no cape look. And for the look at it, that, you know, that's about it. Let's talk about his articulation, because it's pretty darn good. He can look up that high. There's a ball joint up here at the top, and then there's also a ball joint at the bottom, and he can look up that high. He can look down a little bit. He's got some chicken neck. He's got some waggle. And, well, there you can see how the head's put together. It doesn't stay on super well, I will say that. So he does get a 360 degree rotation there. Now the shoulder pads here are hinged, so they can be moved somewhat. And when you move them up out of the way, his arm will raise up like that, slightly better than 90 degrees, not super better, but slightly. And the arm popped out a little bit when I did that, so your experience may be different. So right at this ball joint at the shoulder, he does have a 360 degree rotation. You can see the hinge right there. At least maybe you can see it on camera. At the elbow, it's a double hinged pinless elbow, and it gives you that much bend, which is not bad. It's not super, but it's not bad. So it's on a hinge, and this one actually tilts all around on this thing, and this other hand fell off. So you can see how that's how the peg is, and hopefully that didn't break. It didn't. It's not very deep. So you can spin those around just like import figures, and, you know, in and out, up and down, all around, and they do rotate 360 degrees. Now he's got a cut here where the abdomen, the torso, or the chest and the torso, abdomen meet, and then there's also a ball joint here at the waist. So in conjunction, he can lean left and right. He can, you know, it doesn't rotate all the way around up here at the chest, so he can rotate a little bit left and right there. In conjunction with both hinges, he can lean back that far and forward that far, and he's got all kinds of hula going on at the waist. He doesn't really want to do a full rotation there either, so that's the way it's molded, or it could be the belt, and it's the way it's molded because you can see it's popping apart right there as I try to twist it around. So you know, don't expect the full Exorcist at the waist. At the hips, yeah, it's on a hinge. It's been a little while since I since I put this guy together. So, pull down hinge at the hips, and he gives you the full splits, maybe a little plus there. And then he can kick forward that far, a little shy of 90 degrees it looks like, and then back maybe about 3 of his own steps. Then where the leg is put together, there's a bit of a rotation there. Will it go all the way? It pops off if I try to go all the way. So there's that, my friends. And hang on, because I've got to fix it now. Okay, so just a minor, you know, thing that popped out, and you have to pop it back in. So there is that. So it will rotate 360 degrees. Just be prepared for parts to not want to fully cooperate. So he does have a double hinged pinless knee, and it gives you that much bend. So very good. It bends all the way, actually. So then nothing at the boot cut, no boot cut. At the ankle, it tilts down that far. It tilts up, really it doesn't tilt up. And then it does have a pin for rocker, so it does have rocker. He also has that much toe tilt, so that's really cool. And then here is the cape, and you can see it's, you know, it's a thin material, but again, I was surprised to find that it does have a wire in it for posing, so that's really cool. And I will say, I don't like these pegs. The hands pop off too easily. So we'll set bats over there. We'll take a look at the bat signal, and you know, it pretty much looks like the bat signal out of the movie. It does light up. You can see there's a light in the back. It's got a switch here on the back, and you can turn this piece to pull that out to switch the batteries. And you know, you have to pop it apart to change the batteries. I want to say it was AAA's batteries for this one. The tumbler, when we get to that, it's not AA's. So you know, it does come on, and it does work some. I don't know if you probably won't be able to see it. Yeah, you can't really see it on the green screen here. And you know, this part, it tilts right here, and it also rotates right here. So and you know, it has lots of nice molded details on it, and you can see it even lights up there, or you can see the lights. So it's really cool looking. I like it. When the lights are off, you can tell that it's shining. It does shine the bat signal or the bat symbol on there. So there you have it, my friends. A look at the model kits. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have the Modoking 1/12 scale Dark Knight Trilogy Batman and Bat Signal with the Modoking 1/12 scale Tumbler and Bat Pod model kits. For our last set of comparisons, here we have the Modoking, the Batman, the Dark Knight Trilogy, Batman and Bat Signal model kit combo, with from the Marvel Legends series making his cameo appearance, Stan the Man Lee, from G.I. Joe Classified series, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander, From Star Wars The Black Series, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper, and for a 7/8 scale comparison from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final thoughts on the Modoking, the Batman, the Dark Knight model kits, or in this case it was a combo model kit, I guess. I've seen the Bat Signal separate, and I've seen the Batman, or not the Batman, Dark Knight figure with different Dark Knight sets. But I've never seen it as a single release. The Bat Signal has been a single release, and I think it's up as of this recording on Big Bad Toy Store for pre-order. So if you're looking for a nice Bat Signal and you know you don't want the Batman to go with it, then here you go. It's really good. I think it's a really good one. The Bat Signal, it's nicely detailed. It was reasonably easy to put together. I mean, and it was pretty easy to put together for a model kit. And, you know, Batman was as well. But as far as the Bat Signal goes, it's nicely detailed, easy to put together. It does have a light up feature. The light up feature does work somewhat. The light is pretty bright. Of course, with all the lights on to make the green screen happen, you can't really see it. The light is currently on it, and maybe you can see that as it's spinning around. But it tilts, it rotates, so it's a nice piece. And if you don't mind the having the Dark Knight style bat on it, it works. And I'm sure you could probably, you know, if you were a 3D printer and you wanted to put like the 89 type bat on there, you could do that. Or you know, a more comic book style one, I suppose you could do that as well. But you know, I think it's a pretty nice piece, even if you don't need the Dark Knight Batman to go with it. Now, as far as Batman goes, you can see as he's rotating here, he does have one green wrist peg, and that is because swapping out hands, I broke off the one that comes with it. And even though that one kind of sticks out a little bit, it actually holds the hands better than the one that comes on it. The hand tends to fall off a lot, so that's a negative point on it. I do like the fact that it was very surprising to me that this actually had a wired cape. I was not expecting it to have a wired cape. I was expecting it just to be a cloth cape that would, you know, peg in like it does peg in. But it was a surprise to me that it did have wiring in it, and I'm glad of that fact. I love wired soft goods, and I don't think I've run across any that I don't like. But so that was a surprise on this one. I like the extra pieces that come with Batman. The alternate head, the unmasked head. I think the likeness is pretty close to Christian Bale. It looks really nice. I don't know that I have a whole lot of use for it, but you know, if I ever find a use for it, I do have it. And again, it has nice paint apps on it, and the sculpt is really nice. And I think it looks fairly close to Christian Bale. The likeness is pretty good. The articulation on this guy is about what you'd expect, and it's almost like a high-end action figure. You know, pull down hinges in the hips. The shoulder armor is hinged to get up out of the way. Some of it looks a little goofy, like at the waist. It's like the waist seems a bit big compared to the torso, but that's due to the articulation plus the belt being on there as well. This model kit actually does have a few paint apps on it, where needed, and I love that, because even though you can go back and paint this if you wanted to, just to make the colors better, or degloss it, or, you know, whatever you might want to do paint wise, you know, it's not necessary if you're like me and you don't really know a lot about painting. You don't really want to paint, so it's got splashes of color here and there were absolutely necessary, and to me that's a plus. He comes with some alternate hands. He comes with his grapple gun, the goo bomb gun, although there's no movement to that, and also his EMP gun, which will, it has a piece for storage on the Bat Pod model kit, so I thought that was a neat addition to that kit too, just to show that these kits aren't standalone pieces, they do work together. And this Batman fits nicely in Modoking's tumbler, and you know, that's a good thing as well. So it's all 1/12 scale, it all scales together well, so to speak. So, well, there you have it, my friends. That's my final thoughts on it. It's a nice, I won't say it's a quick build. I built these two maybe in about 2 days, and that wasn't constantly building either. And you know, I enjoy it. The ease, you know, it's easy, pretty easy to change the batteries out. You unscrew the, or you twist the back of the bat signal, and it pulls out, and then you do have to unscrew it. I think it's unscrewed. Maybe it's just untabbing. But you do have to open it up a little bit. Much easier than changing batteries out on the tumbler, which, you know, will be covered, of course, in that review. Well, that does it for the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I'm now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page, or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content, or just help the channel grow, or both. That's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.